So, overall, Brad, what were your thoughts?
I mean, again, like it's like I said, he fucking Homer Simpson his way through the debate, and I think Warnock did a good job. I do think that Warnock was, um, evasive on some questions for
Yeah.
sure. He definitely did a little tap dancing. Better than Herschel Walker just straight up not answering half of the questions that were asked of him.
What even is foreign policy?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a little cheesed off that Warnock didn't come back. Like he's sitting here saying I'm not answering questions. Like he's not even addressing the substance of these questions.
right. I
That's
just
your
I just found that whole idea of um like him not answering on foreign policy like at all was
right.
crazy. Him saying things like 70% of all drugs from the border are ending up in Georgia. I'm like, really? What? See, my biggest thing, and it's the biggest detriment in this race to Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
is Raphael Warnock is too nice. Like he's running
Yes.
against a inarguably a buffoon, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
if you had someone like Tim Ryan running against Herschel Walker,
Oh my
Jesus,
God.
because he would take every opportunity to just take a bat out and beat him over the head with it, right? So like Warnock is not the kind of guy who is going
He's
to
not
do
going to
that,
go for the jugular. Like he's
right?
going to stand up there. He's going to talk about what he wants to do. He's and basically ignore anything that Herschel Walker is saying, which I'm sure was what was advised of him. Like don't
Don't get in the dirt.
you know the old saying, don't fucking roll around with a pig in the mud, because all that happens is you get dirty and the pig likes it. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's not how I would have run this campaign. I would have been like, yeah, no, let's fucking rock and roll, dude. We're both getting dirty. I'm gonna be a piece of shit. Like to me, when Walker said, "Oh well, about the abortion thing," well, you said, what about Black Lives Matter? All these black children or black potential children are being aborted, right? Because that's there's a large amount of women. African American women who are getting abortions. That's true, right? That's a fact. I would have gone back to that, and I would have
Mhm.
said, listen, like I liked Warnock's response, like I believe women more than I believe politicians. That's a good line. Like that's a good sticking line. But when he talked about gun violence, I'd be like, you don't want to do anything about guns. We have all of these African Americans who are dying. These are not potential children. These are actual children walking around. Why don't you care about them? Do you not support Black Lives Matter, or is that just rhetoric for you? Like, look, there's pointing out facts, and then there
Mhm.
is like taking a strong position, but there's also righteous indignation, and that's where you lay into that guy and be like, you don't care about these. Like I would have called his ass out completely. I'd have been like, you don't care about Black Lives Matter. You just use it as rhetoric and a talking point to try to hit me on something earlier. Also, I definitely know you don't care about black kids in Atlanta because you don't even fucking live here. That's what you hit him with, because those lines, those make it on the MSNBC and on CNN, and
Yeah.
people go, "Oh damn," or it gets added onto Twitter and run like those fucking Tim Ryan lines. That's what you want, because that's the shit that gets shared by Atlanta, Georgia voters, by people all across the country, and they go, "Oh shit, this guy's not fucking playing." So
Mhm.
like Raphael Warnock's biggest issue is that he's just too nice. And that's, look, I
Mhm.
mean, he's a fucking minister. He should be too nice. Like, he actually should be
Well,
nice, but they need to be able to hit him harder. He needs like an
well,
advocate or
the one
something
thing that I'm
in his
hoping
campaign that can hit like that.
so Walker did the typical Republican thing, because I mean, the questions were posed to be like, hey, what plans do you have? What would you suggest? What are your ideas? And of course, he didn't answer any of that shit, because he
No,
doesn't fucking
he don't have
have
any.
any ideas or have any answers. Stuff
Joe
like that.
Biden destroyed Kemp's
Right.
healthcare plan. What healthcare plan?
That's right.
What did Joe
Like,
Biden do? Did he
if
send
you
Hunter
want health
Biden down
insurance, you
there?
got health insurance. If you got able-bodied insurance, Jay, and you got other insurance, I guess, somehow or another. I don't
Like,
know.
I just want them to just one time be like, I need you to go, like, as Roland Martin says, I need you to go deeper than mustard on a hot dog. like, give me some details,
But
dude. We
even
don't
the
have it.
abortion, but even on the question of abortion, like the question on abortion was to speak to a national ban. And that legislation that Republicans are floating, and Walker kept pivoting to like, oh, but here's this thing that Brian Kemp did. Well, you're not going to be the senator that, like, a state senator for Georgia, dude. You're going to be
You're a
the
federal level.
United States representative for fucking
Right.
Georgia.
Right, because
Like,
he said, "Oh well, I'm
Brian Kemp doesn't matter."
right," and like, I mean, but it's fundamental that he doesn't even understand the job. right?
Right.
Like he says, oh, well, I would meet with hospital administrators. You're not the mayor of a small town. You're a fucking senator. And to Warnock's credit, he was like, you said you'd be meeting with them. I'm going to be passing legislation, like helping everybody.
And Walker, even
them.
early in the debate, because I did get to watch the whole thing, even though I couldn't be on for the whole thing, is that like he's like, Warnock's talking about like, yeah, I'm trying to represent Georgia, and Walker's like, yeah, but you're in Washington. Yeah, no shit, dude, that's the fucking job. Like I'm representing Georgia in DC. Like you would too if you fucking won, you dumb.
He doesn't. I'm telling you, he fundamentally doesn't understand like what that job entails. He has no idea. Oh, you voted with Joe Biden 99% of the time or whatever. Yeah, he's a Democrat. And guess what? If you won, you would vote with Republicans 99, probably, let's get real, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you just missed the vote. Like you are. So I never understand that argument. We don't need, I mean, look, I think it's important to like be against certain things if your party is for them and you don't agree with it. Like I have no problem with that. And I actually don't have a problem with reaching across the aisle when it makes sense. Warnock pointed that out. Like, look, I work with Rubio. I worked with, I think with Cruz on something like that mattered, right? And trying to get shit done. I don't have a problem with that. But this argument that we need 100 Mavericks is bullshit. It's a bullshit argument. It's a bullshit argument. 99% of the people in the Senate vote with their party 99% of the time. Yeah,
now they do. Like but actually to your point, if everyone in the Senate was much more of an independent thinker and they did do the thing the Senate is supposed to do, which is come to consensus, that would actually be better. Like it actually
would be. I'm talking about what reality is.
Yes, that's the ideal version, and you are correct. Like in the political reality that we find ourselves in, where everything is fucking tribalized to hell. Yes, everyone is going to vote with their team,
right? So like I don't understand why that argument, especially for Republicans, why that argument like hurts Democrats. Like you guys vote in lockstep more than Democrats do,
but they don't give a shit about. They don't give a shit about hypocrisy. The fact of the matter is Walker doesn't have a record of voting with the Republicans because he's not been in elected office. So that's something that he can quote unquote hit Warnock with that he can't therefore be hit with.
I've never had a real job in politics, so you're the worst. Like, all right, you got it, bro. Like the other thing is when he says, Donald Trump is my friend, I would have been like, yeah, that's why you're running. Because he asked you to run because you were on his little TV show. I'm here to do the people's business, not here to try to further my career on television. See, that's the type of shit you need to say. Be an asshole.
Those two go way back. Those two go way back. Because like Trump signed him to his fucking USFL team back in the 80s out of college. So like, gave him a shitload of money. So like that was like they go back way further than just, The Apprentice and shit like that. So they are joined at the hip. Those two. He couldn't distance himself from Trump if he tried.
Yeah, two idiot peas in a pod. Those guys are both.
I don't know. Trump might be upset that Walker did acknowledge that Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Yeah. I'm interested to see Trump's response or Trump world's response on that. Like. Come on, like you guys gonna abandon him like you abandoned the last Georgia race because they said something you didn't care for? Like we're not voting. Like all right, don't vote. don't let us get in your way. By all means, please stay home.
Keep an eye out for the truth. Like my good friend Herschel Walker, who's a great guy, obviously suffered some brain damage to say that Trump.
Clearly, he was mistaken. I'm very interested to see exactly what the fallout of this is. I mean, look, it's going to be a tight race anyway. It shouldn't be. It should be 99-1. It should be 99-1.
I mean, Warnock's opening salvo, and he repeated this many times, is like, look, Georgians have a choice. Me or this fucking guy. It was basically what he was going with.
Like, guys, come on. Did you hear him? Were you let this is mic on? So, yeah, I don't... I was thoroughly unimpressed by Walker's performance. Ironically, though, like he did better than I thought he would, but that's not saying much because I thought maybe he was going to throw up on himself. No, in fairness,
don't you dare Trumpify his debate performance.
No. Oh, no.
Because he didn't shit himself on stage. That somehow he.
Timothy, the debate just finished. It was only an hour. Yeah, I feel like I was expecting him to like quite literally throw up on himself. He did not. Thus, he won, according to like mainstream fucking media. Right?
Therefore, he turned in a exemplary performance because he didn't. He literally did not
He
vomit
did
all over
right.
the podium.
He did not fling shit at the screen or his opponent. Thus, securing a top billing this in this debate. So yeah, look, I thought Walker was terrible. I agree. Warnock did some tap dancing on some of the easy things, right? And look, I get it. He's a loquacious guy, right? Like he wants to make a point. He wants to like dig into like sort of a little bit more nuance stuff like that. And look, I'm like Joe Nuance, okay? Like I love a good nuanced, intelligent argument, but there are certain times, especially in politics, where they go, "Hey, would you support Joe Biden running in 2024?" Yes, I do. Let me tell you why. Yes, that's a thing, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because of X, right? You don't give space for Herschel Walker to come behind you and go, "I would support Trump," because of course he is, because he's simple-minded, but he's gonna say that and then turn around and be like, "See, he don't want to support Joe Biden now," because then that narrative starts. It doesn't make it true, right? I know exactly what Warnock's point is, which is like, what the fuck are you talking about that? That's 2 years from now. I'm talking about this.
Not only that, but who gives a shit? Like I'm in the Senate. I'm not in the executive branch. Like I'm in Congress.
Right. But 100% I get what he was doing, but I would have said yes first, then I would have done this spiel.
I agree that it's tap dancing is not a great strategy, especially when going into this and also during the debate we saw, like when Herschel Walker's pretty much his only attack line against you is like, "Oh, look at this slick guy like talking this Washington Slickster stuff." Like when you're tap dance, you're just
I'm a menace.
Lending credence to that characterization of you.
Right. So. I agree. And it's like, look, you got to remember, and this is gonna seem mean, and I mean it that way. Just so you know, people supporting Walker are as dumb or dumber than him. Right? Or these are just hardline party people, right? Like they just not gonna move. But the people in the middle who are like, I don't know, Herschel Walker or Raphael Warnock, like those people can be reached, but those people are not paying attention, right? They're really not paying. They couldn't possibly be, right? They're not really hardcore paying attention. So you need to grab them with short, fast shit that they go, "Oh, okay, got it." Like you don't need them to have to decipher through that shit, because the more they have to decipher through what you're saying, the easier they can get pulled away by Herschel Walker going, "I would support Trump." Like, because they'd be like, "Oh, well, at least he's being definitive. And maybe this guy, I don't know about this guy." You want to be able to say, "Hey, man, like, oh, that guy's supporting Biden?" Because look, it doesn't hurt Raphael Warnock to say he's supporting Biden. He's a Democrat. It's not like he's a Republican and they were like, "Do you support Donald Trump?" And he was like, "I don't know." Or he was an independent and was like trying to decide. Right. Dude, you're a Democrat. He's the fucking quarterback of your team. Yeah, I support him. Guess what? If he doesn't run in 2024, who gives a fuck? No one's going to remember this 2 weeks from now. No one's going to remember this after the election. Yes, I support him. And I would have said, I support him. And, barring some sort of craziness, I support whoever is the top of our ticket in 2024, because I'm sure it'll be a person who is fighting for not just, all Americans, but Georgians specifically. That's what you said.
That would have been a good answer. Yes.
Yeah. And then I would have been like, fuck this guy. Like, fuck this guy next to me, man. Like, but that's how you have to play that, because you don't want to give them any daylight. Like you said, you don't want to give this idea that you're tap dancing at all. Like Herschel Walker's whole strategy is, I'm speaking to you straight. Like, you understand what I'm saying. Well, you're not really saying much, and you're saying real simplistic shit, but it's easy to understand if you're ignoring the questions where he just gives word soup or word salad responses. But like, for the most part, he's just like, "Yep, nope, 2," right? Like, he doesn't have a lot of shit there, right? He's not an in-depth guy. So like, that's where he needed to be just like definitive. But like, what pissed me off, like the biggest thing was the abortion shit. Like, they kept trying to stick Warnock like, no exceptions, right? Because that plays at this idea that like you're cool with like a baby being aborted at 8 months and 3 weeks. Like, come on, dude, that's nonsense. The argument should be, this guy wants to make sure women, even in the cases of rape and incest or health of the mother, can't make a decision. I am for letting women choose. Period.
Right.
Period.
Well, and Warnock's, and arguably
8
Warnock's,
months, 6 months, or whatever. That's stupid to me.
And arguably his best line is that he said that, you know, Herschel Walker wants to give politicians more influence and power than God, essentially, and that and like that was a huge
that plays well there. Yeah. So look, those kind of things, that kind of stuff. Look, I'm not a religious guy. Neither are you. So I'm kind of like, I'm annoyed that religion is even mentioned in any of this. Like, I'm like, it's irrelevant. But look, if you're gonna look, this is politics. You gotta use what you gotta use. Like, if that's what people vibing on, fucking run that reverend shit, man. Like, just do it. I did like I hadn't heard the story about the like evicting people. Thing, but I did like Warnock's response to that. It's like, so y'all trying to shit on Martin Luther King's church, like John Lewis's church? Okay, bro. Like, look, man, it's a lot of black folks in Atlanta. Like, I'm just saying, okay, but you go ahead and do that. So that was a smart strategy. I don't know how honest that is. I'm gonna take him at his word, because I feel like, dude, really don't fuck that up by like doing some shady shit as a minister. But there's nothing I've seen that
I didn't like. I just didn't like he was as forceful in his denial. Like, it took him until the follow up to unequivocally say, yeah, this is true. So
yeah, like, and again, he's trying to be too nice. He's trying to be too nuanced. And look, nuance matters. And you need those kind of things, but sometimes you got to hit somebody. You got to like punch him in the face and be like, that's not true. That's a lie. Not only is it a lie, but you're now trying to besmirch the church, my church, a church where we help people, where we feed people, right? Like, you just fucking run that rhetoric and be like, that we feed people every week, and these are the things that we do, right? And he jumped on that a little bit, but then I would have brought up, like, right at the end, I'd be like, and you never forget that this is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s church. This is, this is a historical church that matters not only to Georgian voters. This matters to American history. Like, that's right. Again, that's that righteous indignation where people go, I probably wouldn't have hit that topic anymore, right? Like, you shut him the fuck down.
Well, and Walker's response to the personal abortion question, like, is,
they went too light.
I don't believe. Oh, they absolutely did. But I'm saying I don't believe him. But like, that's the way to go, is just to outright be like, yeah, it's a lie. That's a lie. Now you're right. They should have followed up, with the information that we know. But debate moderators I guess don't do that kind of shit anymore, because they're not here to fact check. They're just here to present the information and let the voters.
Nah, dude, I would have been like, oh, so because you read about this thing in the paper, my thing is real. I read in the paper the shit that you did. Like, so what's the argument? Like, which standard we going with, right? Could it not be completely true? Okay, all right then. Like, knock it off. But again, you got to get a little bit mean. And I know, like I don't expect it from him. But I'm like, could you just like? Is there tag team rules? like when is it? Like, I'll just stand just on the outside. I'm like, reaching
from the wing. Tag me in, Raphael.
Dude, you're an asshole. All right. Like, go back in. Wow. No, that in my opinion, that should be how presidential debates are. Like, you tag in your VP. Yeah, you tag in your VP candidate. Like, that would be an awesome debate, by the way. It's like, you know what? Hold on a second. Oh shit! Here comes
the best part. You send the VP out to be the face in peril, and then like they make the hot tag to the presidential candidate who just comes in and just starts wrecking house on people.
My God, that's Joe Biden's music. It's coming. Yeah.
Listen
Let me
here,
tell
Jack.
you about my history.
No more malarkey.
We're done with that. Yeah, look, I think that's a solid debate change that we need to implement. You can tag in your VP. That would be awesome, dude. Like, oh shit, son. Don't ask about foreign policy. His VP is not to be fucked with. Like, this is a problem. That'd be awesome. Like, we don't need a vice presidential debate and a presidential debate. One debate, or like two debates, but you get to tag in your VP.
Yeah.
Like, that would be badass.
So the good news is, apparently, like, so my biggest concern was like, if Kemp did well, then Walker was going to do well. Apparently, according to polling, there are a shitload of like Kemp Warnock voters in Georgia, which again doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but
yeah,
I'll take it.
I mean, apparently a lot of people are saying that, like, which doesn't bode well for Stacey Abrams.
No.
I look, it sucks, and I hate to say this, but I think she's probably going to lose, and I think it's just because the shit is fucking rigged. Like, I do. I think Kemp has purge so many more voters off the rolls. He keeps doing it. Look, if she pulled it out, that would be awesome. But I think she's got a hard road. What I'm hoping is that people realize how fucked Georgia politics is, especially at the governor level, and they don't write her off as a person who could really do some fucking serious good on the national level, because I think she could. And I think she's really, really good. I think people would be crazy not to pick her up as a VP choice at some point. I think you'd be crazy not to.
And I mean, Warnock spoke to that because they talked about how, like, he's talked about how the laws made it harder to vote for, minority voters. But
I was told it was easier and harder to
by Herschel Walker. Yeah. Well, again, he's just going based on the fact that, like, we've had better turnout than like ever in the past, 2 elections for Georgia. But you're saying it's harder. And I thought Warnock's answer was great. He's like, just because people are overcoming it doesn't mean that it's that barriers were not put in place and that people, are not made to, to jump through stuff. And he talked about how, like, hey, like, isn't it weird that the lines are like 6 hours long in some areas where Black people live and not so long in others? Like, that's super strange.
Like that. He's right, and it's a good thing to point out. But you got to explicitly say that.
Yep.
I would explicitly say that. I'd be like, in African American neighborhoods, the lines are 6 hours. In predominantly white neighborhoods, the lines are considerably shorter, where people are, and like, look, have a stat with you, right? Like, people are waiting 20 minutes versus people waiting six hours. And I'd be like, hey, you thought you mentioned Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about that. Throw that one in. Like, find a thing he said, and then you use that as a fucking cudgel, and you beat him over the head with that. Every time you get a chance to pivot back to slamming him on Black Lives Matter because he tried to embarrass you on it, hurt him on that shit every time. You're a black man. Why are you okay with this? I'm not okay with it. Okay, what you gonna do about it?
I think Warnock was kind of running his playbook in the debate. I don't think that he felt it necessary to react to a whole lot of what Herschel Walker was doing.
Look, I'm just talking about. At this point, I'm just talking about, like, yes, Raphael Warnock is a lovely, nice guy. I wish we had a Tim Ryan style dickbag in a way running against him. But I think Warnock is likely going to win this. At least that's my perspective. I don't know. We'll see how this shakes out. But yeah, I mean, I agree. He was running, like, he had a plan and he was going to run that plan. And look, and he did. But I feel like in these close races, sometimes you gotta cut their legs from under them a little bit. Like, you do.
I mean, on the plus side, I don't think that this debate changes anything. Like, I don't think that there's, like, people that were considering Warnock that are all of a sudden like, whoa, Herschel Walker, like this guy.
that would be wild. Yeah. That would be that would be a wild change. This guy's making a lot of points.
Right. He's making a lot of sense.
No, he's not. but like, it would be wild for someone to watch this and be like, yeah, Herschel Walker, he's my guy. Like, okay, like, strange. But yeah, I don't think they're changing any big minds. Like, I don't think people are, like, wildly changing. I can't imagine Herschel Walker people being like, oh, Raphael Warnock, I got it. Now I see what all the fuss is about. Like, they're already dialed in. And look, that doesn't say anything positive or negative about either candidate. It's just, I think the lines are already drawn. I mean,
I think that's correct. Yeah. What is that's my question is, like, truly, if you are truly, like, a swing voter in Georgia, what the fuck are you looking for? Like what is it you're trying to glean out of these two candidates? I think on one hand you have a mushmouth fucking brain damaged idiot, and on the other hand you have someone that can actually speak in complete sentences.
You know what I honestly think it is? They're looking for that one statement that's like that. It's like the boom statement, like, like, there he goes again, like, oh shit, he said it, right? Like, I think sometimes people look for that. They're like, they look for, and they look. One thing Walker is correct about is people like strength. They do, right? Like, that's a thing Democrats in general have had to figure out over time, and they have learned it the hard way. It's like, you do have to lead with strength. I'm not talking about, like, foreign policy and shit like that. I'm talking about like, in politics, you got to come off strong, man. And, like, when people see people who are not, that don't come strong, like, they feel like, like, is this guy gonna, like, because especially Republicans, they're like, is this guy gonna protect me? Because they always want a daddy, right? Like, that's their fucking thing.
But what's ironic about that is that that's not Herschel Walker either. Like
No,
Herschel
it's
Walker's
not.
not up there like the fucking strong man, like like at least Trump like fucking, you know, is that guy. Like Trump at least was the I
Yeah.
alone can fix it.
Yeah,
Like he at least tried to project that image.
yeah,
Herschel Walker's not doing that.
yeah, just
Like,
strong ignorance.
what's
Strong
yeah,
ignorance.
what's his argument? I played football? Like is that
Yeah.
is how it's fucking
Yeah.
going on? So
I mean, that's his entire campaign. That's why he's running in fucking Georgia. I play football here. And it's like, yeah, but like, you don't actually live here. I play football here. But again,
I did live here for 4 years.
yeah, you're welcome. Many a touchdown. Many a touchdown. Let me make decisions for women's reproductive systems for the whole country because football.
Yeah.
What the fuck country do we live?
Brian says they always want a deadbeat daddy. That's a perfect description.
I like that. I like that. Look,
and it works. And it works in more ways than one when we're
Yeah, it
talking about
does.
Herschel Walker.
yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Look, again, a dickbag candidate for the Democrats. They'd use that line. Like, look, we're here to help you, but we're not trying to be your daddy. You're deadbeat daddy. As you look over at the podium, like, oh.
What I'm really hearing is that if, you know, Warnock wins and let's say he decides not to run again, or if Herschel Walker wins and when he runs again, you want to move down to Georgia and carpetbag your way.
No, I'm carpetbagging. I'm coming. Ask me questions, man. Are you serious? Holy shit. My opponent is an idiot. Like, you can't say that. Oh, sorry. Is it on the record?
I mean, that'll be great. I can move down with you. We'll be your campaign manager. I mean, between the two of us, like, you know, all we need to do is bring like $100,000. We'll each be able to buy mansions. It's fine. Like, it's, you know, it'll be no problem.
That's true. Move right in. Yeah, I just like I would love to on one debate. I would love to just be a coach of one of these Democrats and be like, what are you playing patty cakes for? Fucking kick his fucking back in, dude. Like, because all you need is like 3 really devastating lines that are true. They can't be inaccurate. You can't say some like half-ass shit. You gotta say it, and you gotta say that shit with your chest, right? You say it, and it's accurate. That hurts them. Like, Look at Tim Ryan. Tim Ryan kicked that dude's fucking back in with that shit. This JD Vance is a fucking kiss ass. Roll the tape.
If you have not seen highlights from the Ryan Vance debate, do yourself a favor and seek them out. Like, literally, like, Tim Ryan's on stage being like, I'm not saying that he's an ass kisser. Donald Trump said that he was an ass kisser right before he went on stage with him. Like,
and then
he's talking this shit through his face.
Yeah. It's like, what kind of guy lets another man take his dignity? I was like, jeez, like, dude, take it easy. But he came with that. He knew he had that shit in his back pocket. Like, I'm gonna say that shit, right? It's the same thing. People don't forget those lines, man. They go, I remember that time Tim Ryan fucking like did an RKO on that guy on national television. That shit was wild, right? Same thing. Elizabeth Warren with the Bloomberg thing. Like, yeah, we got to worry about this real piece of shit in the election. Oh, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mike Bloomberg. And everyone was like, nobody remembers anything else about that debate. They remember her fucking setting Mike Bloomberg on fire on national television.
It could, like I said, when she dropped that line, I was waiting for the fucking gif of the guy, like, oh!
Yeah, it was over, dude. It was over. What else did he say? What else could he say? He immediately just like got out of the race and he was like, Democrats, here's a bunch of money. Go beat Trump. Yeah. Like, hey, dude, she destroyed him. Like, but that was the thing people remember. So you got to have a couple of those. I mean, look, I did appreciate Warnock. He got mean one time where he was like, I have no problem with the cops. I didn't lie about being a cop. And he was just like, I mean, he didn't. So like, but that's what you need. You need a little bit of oomph. So we'll see. I look, I still think Warnock will take it. It'll be tight.
I hope so.
Look, I can't deal with weekly news of Herschel Walker in the Senate. Like, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, no, please no. God no. But I do think I think Democrats are doing well in these debates. I mean, I don't know if you saw that clip of Big Gretch kicking the shit out of her opponent last night too. Disaster.
I saw that. I saw Mark Kelly punching Blake Masters in the face constantly.
Yeah.
During his debates as well. So
I mean, yeah, it's like it is a astronaut versus a Nazi. like this one should be pretty easy. But again, like Democrats are like, yeah, take the gloves off, man. Take the gloves off. Like
Yeah.
that's the only way you're gonna win this. Take the gloves off, kick the shit out of these guys, and look, don't feel bad about it. Don't.
No,
Don't.
Fuck 'em.
Absolutely not. Yeah, fuck them.
trust me.
They're trying to
Trust me.
destroy
You ain't even gonna think about that shit for the next 6 years.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. Good Lord, imagine 6 years of that guy. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Herschel Walker?
Like I said, the only way that I would tolerate Herschel Walker in the Senate is if he was the 40th Republican vote and the Democrats had 60. Like
yes,
that
that would be fine. That would be fine.
That's the only way that I would tolerate this, just so we could laugh at Republicans for 6
Yeah,
years.
no, that would 100% be a-okay with me. Oh, do you have no power? Great. Like, it's awesome. Please, by all means, go on TV. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Your irrelevant nonsense. All right, so that I think is going to be it for us. Look, sorry about the audio issues, guys. I didn't have the chat up to see that early on. I apologize. Brad, thank you for finally jumping on.
Yep.
That was fun. Is there another? Let's see. Is there another debate before the midterms?
I don't know. I feel like they're all
one?
happening right now.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out if there's another big one. I mean, this was one I definitely wanted to see.
I mean, again, we just wanted to mock Herschel Walker. That's all we wanted to do. Like because
It worked out.
It's so easy, so easy. So
a little too easy. Yeah, it's just like, yeah. Chris Rock had a whole thing about that in Double Dribble. So yeah, whatever. So whatever. All right, that'll be it for us. That is this week's show. Just because if the audio issues work out in the recording, I will I'll post it. If not, don't worry about it. We'll have a full show because there is plenty to talk about. Look,
there is.
Oof.
Donald Trump's very bad, no good day. Yesterday.
Supreme Court, help me. No. Damn it. So yeah, not good. I saw that one last night. I was like, ooh, that's fun. Like that's just good news. That bodes well for, like the law. So that's good. Democracy.
Future presidents being held to account, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. We will see you guys next week. It'll probably be early next week, so that we can actually have a formal show.